The jewelry shop's crystal chandeliers cast a dazzling glow over cases of diamonds and gold, but when she stepped inside in her plain sweater and scuffed shoes, the staff's smiles vanished. "I'm afraid this isn't the place for you," the manager sneered, pointing to the door. Customers whispered, their eyes sharp with judgment as she left, her cheeks burning with humiliation. But the next morning, when a fleet of black SUVs rolled up outside, the manager's smug confidence crumbled. He had no idea the woman he'd dismissed was about to turn his world upside down. Sterling Gems sat at the heart of the city's upscale district, its glass facade reflecting the bustle of wealth and ambition. Inside, velvet-lined displays sparkled with necklaces that cost more than most people's homes. At 34, Elena Harper walked through the polished doors, her dark hair pulled into a simple braid, her sweater slightly frayed at the cuffs. She moved with quiet purpose, her hazel eyes scanning the room not for glamour but for something meaningful, a gift for her sisters. Engagement, a token of love after years of shared struggles. Few would guess Elena had built a non-profit that restored historic community centers, or that her modest appearance masked a life of impact and resilience. Elena's fingers brushed the strap of her worn canvas bag as she approached a display of sapphire pendants. She'd saved for months to buy something special, a rare indulgence for a woman who gave more than she kept. "Excuse me," she said softly to a saleswoman nearby, "could I see that necklace?" The woman, Claire Thornton, froze, her red lipstick framing a tight smile. Her tailored black dress and gleaming name tag screamed professionalism, but her gaze raked over Elena's outfit with thinly veiled disdain. "That piece is quite exclusive," Claire said, her tone sharp. "Perhaps something more affordable would suit you." Elena blinked, caught off guard but steady. "I'd still like to see it, please. It's for my sister." Claire's smile didn't budge, but her eyes flicked to the store manager, Victor Langley, who was watching from across the room. At 50, Victor ran Sterling Gems like a private kingdom, his pinstriped suit and slicked-back hair projecting unchallenged authority. He strode over, his polished shoes clicking against the marble floor. "Is there a problem here?" he asked, his voice smooth but edged with impatience. "No problem," Elena replied, her voice calm. "I just want to look at the sapphire necklace." Victor's gaze traveled from her scuffed shoes to her unadorned hands, his lips curling slightly. "Madam, our clientele typically have specific tastes," he said, emphasizing the word as if it were a barrier. "That piece is reserved for serious buyers. I'd hate for you to waste your time, or ours." A couple browsing nearby glanced up, their designer coats rustling as they exchanged amused looks. "Some people don't know where they belong," the woman whispered, loud enough for Elena to hear. Elena's cheeks warmed, but she held her ground. "I'm prepared to buy it today," she said, reaching for her wallet. Victor raised a hand, cutting her off. "I'm sure you mean well, but let's be realistic. Our items start at 5 figures. Perhaps there's a boutique down the street more in your range." Claire smirked, folding her arms, while a security guard by the door shifted closer, his presence a silent threat. The air grew heavy with judgment, customers pausing to watch the unfolding scene. A man in a cashmere scarf chuckled softly, muttering, "She's got nerve, I'll give her that." "I understand exclusivity," Elena said, her voice steady despite the sting, "but I know what I want. Can you at least show me the necklace?" Victor's smile was cold, his eyes glinting like the diamonds around them. "We have a reputation to maintain. I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave." The guard stepped forward, his hand resting on his belt. Elena's shoulders tensed, the weight of every stare pressing down. She could have mentioned her nonprofit's $1 million grants or the wealth she'd never flaunted, but something held her back. Why should she need credentials to be treated with respect? The silence stretched, broken only by Claire's sharp laugh. "Come back when you're ready to shop seriously," she said, turning away. Elena's fingers tightened around her bag, memories flashing of her childhood, standing in food lines with her sister, ignored by those who saw only poverty. She'd fought for dignity then, and she wouldn't surrender it now. But with the guard looming and Victor's gaze unyielding, she had no choice. "I see," she said quietly, her dignity intact but her heart bruised. She turned and walked out, the glass doors hissing shut behind her as whispers erupted in her wake. Outside, Elena stood beneath the shop's gilded sign, the city's hum fading as she pulled out her phone, her breath caught, not from embarrassment but from a quiet resolve. She dialed a number, her voice soft but firm. "It happened again," she said when the call connected. I need you to hear this. The Harper penthouse overlooked the skyline, its minimalist design a testament to function over flash. Inside, Nathan Harper sat at a glass desk, his charcoal suit unbuttoned as he listened to Elena's story. At 40, he'd turned a single patent into a renewable energy empire, but his sharp blue eyes softened for the woman who'd been his anchor for a decade. They didn't even let you speak, he said. His voice low with restrained anger. Elena nodded, sitting across from him, her sweater still carrying the faint chill of the morning. It's not just me, she said, it's everyone they dismiss without a second glance. Nathan leaned forward, his hands clasped. What do you want to do? Elena's gaze drifted to a framed photo on the desk, her and her sister, laughing at a community center opening. I want them to see what they're missing, not for revenge, but for change. People deserve better. Nathan's lips curved into a determined smile. Then let's make it happen. He reached for his phone, already dialing his assistant. Get me the board of sterling gems, he said, and clear my morning. If this story's hitting home, hit that subscribe button to join our community of story lovers. We're inches from 1,000 subscribers. Your support brings these tales to life. Now, let's see what happens when the truth walks back through that door. The next morning, sterling gems gleamed under the sunrise, its displays sparkling like promises of wealth. Victor Langley stood at the counter, directing Claire with the same imperious confidence he'd shown Elena. Weed out the browsers early, he told her, adjusting his cufflinks. Time wasters hurt our numbers. Claire nodded, her smirk mirroring his. They'd already forgotten the woman in the sweater. Another anecdote to laugh about over coffee, but at 9:15 a.m., the street outside stirred. 3 black SUVs pulled up, their tinted windows reflecting the shop's facade. Staff paused, customers craned their necks, and Victor's brow furrowed. What's this? He muttered. The lead vehicle's door opened, and Nathan Harper stepped out, his tailored coat catching the light. His presence was commanding, not from flash but from the quiet certainty of someone who shaped industries. Behind him, 2 assistants carried leather binders, their steps synchronized. Claire's eyes widened. She recognized him from a business magazine cover. That's Nathan Harper, she whispered to Victor, who straightened, sensing a windfall. Good morning, sir, Victor called. Striding forward as Nathan entered, Victor Langley, manager of Sterling Gems. It's an honor to welcome you. Nathan's gaze was calm but piercing. Nathan Harper, he said, his voice steady. I'm here about an incident yesterday. A woman was asked to leave your shop. Victor's smile faltered, but he recovered smoothly. I'd be glad to address any concerns. Mr. Harper, perhaps we could discuss this privately. Nathan shook his head. No need. The woman was my wife, Elena Harper. She came to buy a necklace and was told she didn't belong. The shop fell silent, the air thick with shock. Claire's hand flew to her mouth, her confidence evaporating. Customers exchanged glances, sensing a drama unfolding. Mr. Harper, Victor stammered, his polished demeanor cracking. There must be a misunderstanding. We prioritize all our clients. Nathan's eyes narrowed, by judging them on their clothes. Elena's nonprofit has rebuilt communities across this city. She chooses simplicity because she values impact over appearance. You didn't just dismiss her, you dismissed everyone who doesn't fit your idea of wealth. Claire shifted uncomfortably, recalling her own laughter. The security guard, stationed near the door, studied the floor. Margaret Wells, the shop's regional director, hurried in, drawn by the tension. Mr. Harper, I'm horrified to hear this, she said, her voice urgent. Sterling Gems values every customer. Let us make this right. Nathan's expression didn't soften. My company was finalizing a deal to supply your chain with sustainable display tech. $10 million over 5 years. After yesterday, I'm reconsidering. Victor's face paled, his cufflinks glinting as his hands trembled. Sir, we had no idea who she was, he said, his voice thin. That's the problem, Nathan replied, his tone cutting. You shouldn't need a name to show respect. He pulled out his phone, typing swiftly. I've just bought Sterling Gems, effective immediately. The board agreed this morning. A gasp rippled through the room. Margaret's jaw dropped, the implications crashing over her. As the new owner, Nathan continued, I'm making changes, starting with a retraining program on bias and inclusion. Victor, you'll be the first to attend. Your job depends on it. Victor nodded mutely, his kingdom crumbling before the crowd. Nathan turned to a young saleswoman, Lily, who'd watched Elena's dismissal in silence. "You," he said, "you hesitated yesterday, like you wanted to help. I'm putting you in charge of the transition. Elena's nonprofit will consult on community outreach, pro bono." Lily's eyes widened, a mix of shock and gratitude crossing her face. "Thank you, sir," she whispered. Nathan addressed the room, his voice carrying to every corner. "This isn't about punishment, it's about accountability. Elena wanted awareness, not vengeance, so here's the deal. Sterling Gems will launch a line of affordable jewelry, with proceeds funding community programs. Elena's vision will shape it." He paused, letting the words sink in, then turned to Margaret. "I expect your support. My team will follow up." As he headed for the door, the SUV's engines hummed outside, signaling his exit. Customers whispered, some recording the moment, while Victor stood frozen, the weight of his actions settling like dust. 3 months later, Elena walked through Sterling Gems, now adorned with displays blending luxury and accessibility. Her sweater was gone, replaced by a simple blouse, but her braid and quiet smile remained. The new community line sparkled modestly, each sale supporting her nonprofit's work. Lily greeted her warmly, now a manager overseeing the changes. Across the room, Victor sat in a training session, his notepad filled with lessons he'd carry forward. The shop buzzed with a new purpose. Imperfect, but growing. That evening, Nathan and Elena sat on their balcony, the city lights sprawling below. Nathan handed her a small box, a sapphire necklace, the one she'd wanted for her sister. "Lily insisted," he said, grinning. Elena laughed, touching the pendant. "It's perfect," she said, then grew thoughtful. "Buying the shop wasn't just for me, was it?" Nathan shook his head. "It was for everyone who's ever been invisible. You showed me that." Elena squeezed his hand, the skyline reflecting in her eyes. "Then let's keep making them seen." This story's about more than one woman's triumph. It's a reminder that worth isn't measured by what you wear or own. Have you ever been judged for your appearance or seen someone underestimated? Share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear it. If Elena's courage inspired you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of unexpected strength. Let's keep shining a light on what matters. Until next time, look beyond the surface. You never know who's rewriting the rules.